After the classification based on the method of manufacture, now let us concentrate on the classification on the basis of depth of hardening. So, hardening is nothing but the ability of a steel to get hardened. There are three different distinct types depending on depth of hardening. Number one, non-hardenable steels. Number two, shallow hardenable steels. And number three, deep hardenable steels. Number one, non-hardenable steels. These contains less carbon and almost no alloying element. So these are much towards the purest form of iron, suitable for the fabrication by cold working and welding. So cold working could be possible, maybe hot or maybe cold. So fabrication by cold working and welding. Applications similar to those of low carbon steels. So these are all non-hardenable type of steels. They didn't get hardened due to the heat treatment or hardening process. Second one, shallow hardenable steels. They are medium carbon steels with or without the alloying elements. They are intermediate characteristics of those known hardening and deep hardening steels. Intermediate, average properties of non-hardenable and deep hardenable steels. It gets hardened only at the surface, used for gears, camshafts and other applications. So deep hardenable steels, they are having depth of hardening which is considerable. Contains more carbon and alloying elements, high carbon steels, used where the depth of hardening required is more and through hardening is very much necessary. Applications similar to those of high carbon steels, that is tool steels you can take down. So classification on the basis of depth of hardening would be the next one. The final that we want to see is classification on the basis of their form. So this is the sixth category of classification. Number one, cast steel. Iron alloy with carbon up to 1.7%, which is castable, used in the casting process. Casting are heat treated to achieve specified properties and machined to required dimensions. So this is not cast iron, this is cast steel, CS. So a category of a steel which is having less percentage up to 1.7% and they can be casted. Wrought steel, which undergoes two operations. It can be poured into ingots and metal is reheated and hot rolled into the finished form. So in the first lecture we have seen about a iron pillar which is available at the Delhi Qutub Minar. That is made 98% of wrought steel which can be poured into ingots, and some specific metals which are being added, it is non-rusting type. So around 1600 years it is there. So wrought steel. The final classification is classification on the basis of application. Very simply, you can derive the application and you can name the steel. Boiler steel, case hardening steel, corrosion and heat resistant steel, deep drawing steel, electrical steel, free cutting steel, machinery steel, structural steels and tool steels. So these are the possible applications, and depending on the basis of applications, you can have the different type of steels as a nomenclature. The next category is designation of steels. How the steels are designated means, if suppose 20 Mn Cr5 type of steel is given, what do you mean by this type of 20 Mn Cr5? Or else AISI 1045, what it stands for? Depending on this specific number criteria, the designations of steels are defined. They are the majority of specifications are depending on their chemical compositions. What is their chemical compositions, and depending on that, this is been designated. Similar to this, there are different four another categories in which steel can be designated. So criteria for designations are method of manufacture, chemical composition, heat treatment, mechanical properties, and quality. The knowledge of specification of steel helps to select a proper type of steel for the proper service requirement. So this is essential. Indian Standard Designation System, which is adopted by the Indian Standard Institution, that is ISI, in 1960. The standards are revised in 1971 into two parts: designation of steel based on the letter and symbols, and second one, designation of steel based on the numerals. So one category letter and symbol, second category dependent on the numerals. Again, it is revised in 1974. Designation on the basis of mechanical properties. So it is simple designation. Here the example. Based on their tensile or yield strength, the symbol Fe is used to designate minimum tensile strength in Newton per mm square. If it is assigned with E as such, so it is minimum yield strength in Newton per mm square. If it is simply St, that is steel, then it is minimum tensile strength in kg per mm square. So this is the difference between Newton per mm square or kg per mm square. Here Fe Newton per mm square, St kg per mm square. If you apply E again, so it is the yield strength in kg per mm square. Further, steels can be designated like this. These are some of the examples. Fe410K. K stands for killed steels with minimum tensile strength of 410 Newton per mm square. St42. 42 stands for, it is the tensile strength of 42 kg per mm square, because St is a designation. Fe270, that is steel with minimum yield strength of 270 Newton per mm square. Designations on the basis of chemical compositions. More prominently, designation of plain carbon steel. Numeric figures which indicates 100 times the average percentage of carbon. Letter C for carbon steels and letter T for tool steels. Figure containing 10 times the average percentage of Mn content. Now, if it is C20, so steel with average carbon percentage of 0.2, because it is divided by 100. C40, steel with average 0.4 percentage of carbon. But if it is 25 C5, then 25 would be divided by 100 and 5 will be the percentage of manganese, which is divided by 10. So steel with average carbon 0.25% and manganese 0.5%. If it is 80T11, it designates that plain carbon tool steel. T designates for tool steel with the average of 0.8% of carbon and 1.1% of manganese. Designations of unalloyed free cutting steels. The designations consist of a figure indicating 100 times the average percentage of carbon. Letter C, then following by figure indicating 10 times the average percentage of manganese, as it is there in the previous one. Symbol S, Se, T, Pb, depending on the element which is present, make it steel of free cutting. Followed by the figure indicating 100 times the percentage and content of the elements. In the case of phosphorized steel, the symbol P shall be included. Symbol indicating special characteristics covering the method of deoxidation, surface conditions and heat treatment. Example, 25C12S14. So it is a free cutting steel with 0.25% divided by 100. Then followed by percentage of manganese 10%, 1.2%. Then it is the sulfur which is present, and its percentage would be again divided by 100. So this is to be kept in mind depending on these types. 35C10S14K. So this is free cutting keeled type of steel with minimum 0.35 percentage of carbon, 1 percentage of manganese, 0.14 percentage of sulfur. So designations of alloy steels. Alloy steels can be designated as low alloy steel, high alloy steel, alloyed tool steel, and free cutting alloyed steels. How the designations can be more accurately been given. So for alloy steels now, so we have seen it for the plain carbon steel previously. Now we will see it for the low alloy steel. Low alloy steels less than 10% of the total alloying element content. The designation consists of a figure which is indicating 100 times the average percentage of carbon as it is previous one. Chemical symbol for alloying elements such each followed by the figure for its average percentage content multiplied by a factor as given. So depending on the element, suppose chromium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, silicon and tungsten, multiplying factor would be 4. So aluminium, barium, vanadium, lead, copper, percentage would be 10%. Niobium, titanium, titanium, zirconium and molybdenum. So multiplying factor will be 10. If it is phosphorus, sulfur, then it is multiplied by 100 times. Now here 25Cr4MO2G is what it is been written. How you can designate the steels then? Steel with guaranteed hardenability and having 0.25 percentage of carbon, 100% divided by 100. 1% of chromium means divided by 4. Then 0.25 percentage of multiplying the molybdenum factor. Right. 40 Ni8Cr8Fe2. Hot rolled steels with the average of 0.4 percentage of carbon, 2 percentage of chromium, because 8 divided by, instead of multiplying factor, you can keep in mind that this is a divisible factor. So you need to divide by 4. And vanadium 0.2%.